Good afternoon. Good afternoon from Vitality Stadium. Women's football comes to Vitality again, which is great to see, and it's a top of the table clash between two sides at the top end of the table. Bournemouth have won every single game, 21 points through a possible 21 against the Swindon side, who are 4 points ahead, but the Cherries have 3 games in hand. It sets it up for a mouth-watering afternoon. A crowd of more than 5,000 supporters were expected inside. 3 stands open here as well. And we are just under 10 minutes away from kick-off. So AFC Bournemouth against Swindon, just under 10 minutes away. And it's great to see so many people turning up here. Bournemouth, who has been so free scoring so far this season, up against the Swindon side, who themselves are pretty much doing okay at the moment, but the Cherries have kind of dropped 2 points so far this season as well. So Swindon Town then, doing pretty well so far this season. And Helen Blezard, my summariser, will be up joining me soon as well, the very experienced player. Incredibly, 64 goals in 12 games so far this season for Bournemouth in the Women's National League Division 1 South West. Picked up some big wins so far this season, including that 9-0 against Maidenhead at home, 10-0 at Southampton Women as well 2 weeks ago. And we are live here for you, this live stream, which is just over 5 minutes away here. Bournemouth's game last time was against Swindon Town here at Vitality Stadium. That was in March this year. That was a 1-1 draw. And Charlotte Haynes, the goalkeeper, was a hero that day. I'm delighted to say now Helen Blezard joins us as summariser. Great to have you there again today, Helen, and how much are you looking forward to this one this afternoon?
Hello, yeah, thank you for having me. Been a really good, it's been a busy one already. We've been in quite early. We've seen everything the media team have been putting on, which has been fantastic, so thank you to them. Really good day, really good occasion, top of the table clash, so yeah, it's going to be a cracker hopefully. Yeah, fingers crossed. Let's see what this side can do today. It looks like there's a lot of goals in that side as well, with McGuinness, Triple, Thompson and Markham all in that side. Baron Clark, who's contributed so many goals last season, and you look at that side, it is a very strong 11 today. Yeah, I think with both teams, I think we're going to be almost mirroring formation wise. I think it's both going to be looking similar to a 3-5-2, but I think they're both at very, very attacking 3-5-2s. So like you said, we almost play wingers, not wing backs. So yeah, it's going to be a cracking game. They've obviously had a great run of form, top of the table for a reason. They've been scoring plenty of goals. Their captain Annie Coulson is their striker, and she's been a phenomenon for them for the last few years. So yeah, hopefully it's going to be a win for us, but hopefully a nice, exciting game for the fans as well. Well, that's for Swindon. They've got a very strong side themselves. And as you mentioned there, Coulson, the captain, the top goal scorer, good friends with
Ellie's triple from her time at Swindon as well. It set it up beautifully. And we're going to have the last post here in a few minutes' time as the players come out onto the pitch here, or imminent here at Vitality Stadium. And to have 3 stands open here and to see such a great crowd, I think this beats the Keynsham one back in March as well.
Yeah, definitely. I know when we played Portishead here, I think it was just over 6,800. I don't know what it is today. It's usually the last few days beforehand they sell a huge amount of tickets, so it's looking very, very busy, similar to the Portishead game. So I think it's going to be a great attendance and hopefully a record.
Yeah, absolutely so. And for the Cherries, just a word on, we're talking about some of the key players in that side today, but Baron Clark, she's been phenomenal last season and going into this season.
Yeah, definitely. She had a little injury at the start of the season, so she didn't feature for the first, I can't remember how many games, but it was quite a few. Had a bit of a hamstring niggle, has worked really, really hard to get back into the starting lineup, and I think our first game back was against Bishop's Lydiard in the Cup, which was a bit of a sticky one. We didn't play as well as we should have in the first half, and she came on the pitch with something to prove, and she was absolutely fantastic in that game. Played against Worthing as well, a first half in the Cup, and was like the best player on the pitch in my opinion. So hopefully she can get a good run of form again and keep continuing what she's been doing. She's brilliant linking in between our defence and attack, and hopefully we can get a goal from her and a goal from a few others.
Absolutely so. So here they are out onto the pitch. And interesting, it was disappointing going back to that Keynsham game that was at Vitality Stadium, because that was one of the rare times that Bournemouth actually did drop some points.
Yeah, it was. We only drew 3 games that season. 2 were against Exeter and the other one was Keynsham. But yeah, I mean, we've all said from before watching the game, and just to recap now, Charlie Haynes, their goalie, was man of the match and their best player, but at the same time we didn't play as well as we should have. We needed to, it's a huge pitch, we need to make the pitch as wide as possible, we need to stretch them, we need to switch play quick, and we need to take some shots. I don't think she had many shots to actually save in that game, and the one we hit low on target went in, so yeah. Hopefully again we can make the pitch as big as possible today and really cause a threat going forward. How much of an extra incentive is it playing at stadiums like this? Always great making Ringwood a fortress, but to come here it just adds that extra 10%, doesn't it? 100%. I mean, I love playing with crowds like this, with the occasion. We're always so grateful to get the opportunity to play, and the club are fantastic with that, and it's only getting more and more. We knew that we would have a few opportunities to play here, and obviously we've got the opportunity today. So yeah, I think we thrive playing on a big pitch, making it high and wide, and getting bodies and energy moving forward. And I think the bigger the pitch, the more advantage it is for us. And how's your injury now? Because you had surgery, didn't you, earlier on this season or in the summer? Yeah, it was. It's been a bit of a whirlwind. I got injured in February against Exeter, and initially we thought it was just a ligament ankle injury. So we thought I was probably going to be back with about 6 weeks, but after a bit more work and a few more scans, we worked out I had a fracture and I needed some surgery. So had surgery in June. Been on the mend, had a little bit of a setback where I needed an injection to reduce the swelling, but yeah, on the mend now and looking hopefully for first game back in January. Oh well, that'll be great. Fingers crossed. In a couple of months' time, and right now here on Remembrance Sunday, we're going to have a minute's silence here ahead of this women's fixture.
Today we come together to remember those who we lost, fighting for our country and who made the ultimate sacrifice. Managers Richard Wood and Steve Cross, alongside a representative from each club, are laying bricks to ditchlight in memory of those who served us.
the last post here in this fixture, which gets underway at 2 o'clock this afternoon. We are minutes away from kick-off. Big game, this one. 7 matches. Frustrating that they've had a few games called off, which is why they've got the games in hand. So that's been, I think, 3 matches so far, which has been a frustration.
Yeah, I think we've also had a good cup run as well. So it is hard with some of the fixtures. I think in a way it doesn't matter whether we're top of the table after all of our games. It's great to almost not be the ones and we're the ones chasing. So we look at the table, but it doesn't really do much for us. We've got, every game's different and we've got to do a job today. It doesn't matter what you've done in the last 7. It's about the one in front of you. Yep,
it's all about now, and it's minutes away here for the Cherries. Do you feel like it's stronger than last season, the squad? Because, I mean, last season couldn't have done much more, but to finish second was agonising against Exeter.
Yeah, it was crushing all the effort you put in, and to go undefeated in the league and not get promoted, it was heartbreaking for the girls and everyone at the club. But yeah, we've recruited well. We've had a few players leave, but we've had a good recruitment as well. Huge squad this year, having to drop players every week as well as players being injured. So I'm not going to be coming straight back in. I've got to fight for my spot to see if I can get back in. But it keeps that competition at training alive, and it's only better for the club moving forward.
Yeah, it certainly is. Good to have that competition, especially in that second half of the season. How crucial is Jenna Markham going to be today? She's been singing your praises last week, in fact, saying how she was your favourite coach when growing up at Yeovil.
Bless her, I'll give her a fiver for that. No, she's going to be key today. I mean, I was just doing a CPD talk in there, and I was saying with Jenna, her pace is phenomenal, and if there's a high line today and that ball can go over the top, the pitch is huge, and a lot of the time she can make a really bad ball look good. So yeah, it's going to be a really interesting one. If we can get the right ball over the top for her, and get her pace, and obviously just making sure she's on side, then she could be deadly today.
Well, the danger player there, Coulson, is going to get Swindon Town going here in the 4th tier. Swindon themselves had a pretty decent campaign last season, finishing 4th. Bournemouth finishing 2nd. Right now, it's top against 2nd. Interesting to see how Swindon will shape up, because, say, as you said, 3 at the back, maybe 1 with licence to move forward every now and again into the midfield.
Yeah, when we did our analysis on them, they looked like they were setting up in a 3-5-2. A lot of the time last season it was just Annie up front.
Early chance inside the first minutes, and a good opportunity as well there from Stripple, and how she would have enjoyed that one against her former club inside 21 seconds.
Yeah, almost a little bit too early in the game. I know I shouldn't say that, but sometimes need a bit of a warm-up. But no, good start, good aggression, and hopefully, yeah, we can get more of those chances and convert them.
Plus 35 goal difference against Swindon, who've got a plus 26. Some really convincing wins. That one against Southampton women a couple of weeks ago, particularly getting into double figures. Midfielder Helen Blezard with me in the commentary box today here for this stream. Mummy and Wilding. I'm really looking forward to this one today. Be an early injury here potentially.
Doesn't look good, unfortunately.
Doesn't, does it? In the early stages, she does look like she's really struggling down there.
You always worry with a player going down and looking the way she is at the minute and holding her knee. I don't know if it's her knee or her ankle, but there's always, especially in the women's game, about ACLs.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not that.
To go down in the way that she has there, she looks in real discomfort, and that's awful to see inside the first 90 seconds of this game after that opportunity for Bournemouth, which just went over the crossbar. So Osborne wickets down there. Supporters watching on. And it's always going to be a good game, this one. It'll be a big game with a big crowd, and that's been the case. Just getting some treatment down there in this TV stream in association with Esset this afternoon. Here in the Women's National League Division 1 South West. Let's have another look at that opportunity again. And again, you look at it, it probably looks closer in the replay than it did in in real time.
Yeah, I think it's just bounced up as the cross has come in, and she might not have got the full connection, might have just hit her shin a little bit, and that's why it's bounced over. But again, good start. Like I said about Jenna and her pacing behind, just managed to get in already within the first minute or so and get that ball across. And the biggest thing is you can have our strikers doing the running, but you've got to get bodies in the box. And luckily there we had Ellie and I think Kenny in there as well.
Well, still on the floor at the moment and still concerning here. The Vitality Stadium been on the floor now for a couple of minutes. It's sat back up again for now. But 16 goals for Bloomfield, 15 for Markham. So they've been spreading him around, haven't they? But those two particularly, between them with 30 goals already, and we're only early November.
Yeah, like I said, we're a really attacking team, and we've had a lot of games where, again, we've got a lot of players in the squad, and I think can't remember off the top of my head how many players that have scored so far this season. But yeah, Erin and Jenna have been key to that in terms of getting in the box. A lot of Erin's goals, she's kind of been a poacher, like a kind of like Michael Owen finishes, fox in the box. She's been getting a few hat tricks as well, and Jenna hasn't scored as many coming up to this game, but again, a lot of the games have been varied, whether they've been parking the bus and not had a lot of opportunities over the top, but she's still been there, still been scoring, still been getting the assists.
Beckerson is now on the sidelines, and I saw the signal there to suggest that there will have to be a change early on. That happened within the first 90 seconds.
Real shame for her. She's a very good midfielder. I was talking to their captain before the game, and I said, your midfield in a nice way. They're very busy, and Terriers in there like to get and put pressure on and win that ball on the transition, and she's a key part of that, so she'll be a big loss for them.
So Cook's coming on for Swindon Town. An early change. Let's see what that does to the next few minutes in this game. So we do get this match going again. It was Bowers who headed up into the air. Now Bournemouth win it back now with James, who goes out to that right-hand side. Here is Markham, if she can find the delivery. Short pass, it was too short in the end. Ali Hall couldn't quite get there. Swindon on the breakaway. Does go Swindon's way.
Again, it's that transition. We talked about it in our analysis meetings, and we said we're going to have a lot of the ball, but transition, they get the ball, they're going to look to attack really, really quickly, and they've done well to get a free kick in a good position for them.
Get the feeling it could be quite an end-to-end game, this one.
Yeah, I talk about when they're end-to-end, they're like a basketball match, and I feel like this might be one of those today.
And something that Bournemouth probably aren't necessarily used to is generally, on the whole, one-sided stuff for the Cherries over the last couple of years, but this is certainly going to be their biggest test of the season here in the league. It's into a dangerous area. Down with in the end, it was McDonald with a ball into a pretty dangerous area there into the 6-yard box.
Yeah, good clearance from Ali. Just glad she got the height on it and didn't stick it in the top corner of our own net.
That's always heart and mouth stuff, isn't it, from there?
Very much so.
Get enough on it over the bar. First corner of the game then for Swindon. Well, the 6th game at Vitality Stadium for Bournemouth women. Hopefully many, many more to come soon. Headed away. She dealt with it well there, Katie James. Early on though, very early, but 2 or 3 balls in the box, and Cherries have dealt with it well so far.
Yeah, no, we always need to set up really strong against Swindon. They will always put bodies in the box, and we need to be organised. Again, like you said, we've had a lot of possession in a lot of games, and we've played against a few teams this season that have really put us under pressure, and Swindon are going to do the exact same today. So it's all about the attack in terms of trying to get the goals, but we've got to get a clean sheet or not concede as many as possible.
And one way of doing that there is having about 4 players on one there. Did well. Cleared up the line. Might try again if she's going to stay on side, is she? Didn't matter in the end, and Abby Jones there had to get in front of her, and she did, and wins the throw for Bournemouth.
Just think she was slightly offside, but the lino didn't give it, but still got to deal with it. Abby did well there.
Abby Jones, 5th season at the club. Bournemouth could be away here, might have another opportunity. Oh, turns brilliantly. Oh, and just somehow Jenna Markham can't find the target. She did everything, didn't she? All the hard work to get herself in that position. Just over the bar.
Everything right but the shot. But no, I knew if we've got that good ball from Abby over the top, and again, Jenna makes any type of ball look good. Her pace is phenomenal, and just unfortunate with that shot there. Just needs to get her head over it and get it in the bottom corner.
And a hat-trick of headers on her debut against Bristol Rovers, as there's an opportunity from distance. But that was quite something, as Baron Clark puts it over the bar. But to do that on her debut is quite something.
Yeah, I think she was shocked more than anyone else. I think she said she hadn't scored many headers, let alone a hat-trick of them. But no, it was a really strong performance again. Really strong. We had a lot of, I think Ellie Stripple got 3 assists that game as well, and that was her debut. So yeah, really, really strong start to the season.
And when you do it like that so often, you're then expected to do it every game, aren't you? But if that's not her forte, out for a throw. It goes to show, I'm sure there's many games where she scored the perfect hat-trick, left foot, right foot header.
Yeah, she thrives on as much pressure as possible. I think we all do, and these are the games that we play for. We want to be competing in Tier 3, as do many other teams in this league, and it's about doing the things right. We were unfortunate that it didn't happen for us at the end of last season, but still got to focus and get the job done today, and this is a really, really important game going into our season. Top of the table clash, got to get the points today.
How did Steve Cuss lift the players after that disappointment last season, or is it a case of everybody's got to lift themselves, really?
I think it's a bit of both, really.
Well, now it could be in trouble here, though. Still got work to do. Jones tries to stop, and in the end they just do enough there, and they put off Libby Davis there, who was going to try and play it left hand side. Bournemouth just deal with it there on the edge of the box. Now Baron Clark. Stripple. Kelsey Bowers. So the 1-2, and still. The signing for Portsmouth last season. Gets the ball into the box. Punched away from Cox, and Swindon will get that away. Out to Markham again. Triple has it, plays it back. This could be a chance. Well blocked, defended. She's going to get another go. Abby Jones getting herself into the right kind of areas. Not quite being able to deliver the finish, but a good idea.
Yeah, good run from Abby, good link-up play, and a good set from Strips there.
Goal and 7 assists last season for her, the only ever present in the side. The stream in association with Essex now. Here's McGuinness. Again, made the run, right kind of idea. That's cleared and out of play there from Izzy Mead. We'll try again. Yeah, so you're saying about Steve Cuss there, because the thing is, it's quite a long summer, isn't it, between the end of the season and the start of this one?
Yeah, and obviously just happened to be the league fixtures. It was last game of the season that decided it. So, and it was away to Exeter. So yeah, it was a very hard journey back. But I think at the same time, the girls, you've got youngsters, you've got more experienced players, and it was just about being together and just understanding that yes, it didn't go our way, but making sure that you put the hours in pre-season. If you're injured, making sure you're back fit. If you've been a part of this club, make sure that you're going to stay with it and that you're not going to be in contention to be dropped if new players come in. And I think the players that we've got in, they've really brought energy to the group. Again, like I said, made it more competitive. And I've lost track of how many players are in our squad. I think at one point we've had 27 players,
wow,
including injured, all fighting for a first team squad of 16 and starting 11. So that's only going to make the competitiveness. So I think it kind of speaks for itself, really. You don't need to do much talking about it. You just got to do it on the pitch.
Yeah, that's quite something now, isn't it? And that Exeter game, as Jones to the left-hand side, it must have felt like a playoff final, really, because that's what it is, I suppose, in that sense.
Yeah,
win the game, you go up.
And that's the thing, we went 1-0 up in the game and we knew that we had to win, we couldn't draw. So when they got that free kick, you could tell that Exeter's dynamic changed, and fair play to them, they did what they had to do on the day. And as soon as they went 1-1 with a great free kick from Zoe Cunningham, you could see the shift in them. They wanted to protect it at all costs. The subs they brought on at the right times did a very good job when they come on, and unfortunately we just didn't quite get that last goal that we needed to.
Now flicked on. Back from Kenny Thompson. Good patient build up here if they can get the ball in the box. Back to Jones, has had that one attempt on target. I think Bournemouth have had 4 efforts already. Couple on target, in towards a dangerous kind of area, but Katie James has played well so far, but just couldn't get the contact on that she wanted. Yeah,
I think the really positive thing for me is that just that phase of play there is we've kept the ball so well from left to right. It's been a bit of a basketball game for the first 10-15 minutes, but actually we really got hold of it there and started to play through the thirds and round the side, which was really pleasing to see. Just need to get that final finish, but we're getting runners into the box. That's the most important thing. It's not just the strikers. We're getting Molly Barron-Clark running forward, we're getting KJ in the box as well, so it's really pleasing to see how many attacking players we've got going on.
They're getting there in support as Cox clears for Swindon. Swindon, who were formed back in 1993 after several players broke away from the established Swindon Spitfires. It was just over 30 years ago now. And they are expected to stay there and be right up there. It feels already, maybe too early to say Moneyfields are doing well, but the battle of the top 2, it feels at the moment. Things can change, of course. Just to make those surging runs forward, though, doesn't she, as well, there, Abby Jones? She's done 2 or 3 times already today.
Yeah, I think the thing with our lineup and the way we play with a back 3, but 2 of the back 3 are fullbacks. So the only natural player that wants to stay and defend is Amber. So Kelsey loves bombing on, Amber loves bombing on at times, and Abby's always bombing on. So it's great and refreshing to see, and I love the fact that they all want to attack. It's just making sure when we're attacking at the right times, we've got people covering, and the transition's so key today. We've had the ball for a lot of the time, but if we don't react right on the transition, they could punish us.
Every touch there from Jones. Does that play a fact? The fact that they only played 3 days ago against Bournemouth Sports, a really good win, a 5-0 win, mind you.
I mean, it's always going to play a factor in terms of Swindon haven't played since last Sunday when they played Gola United. But again, that was a tough game for them, playing a team in the tier above. But it's going to play a factor to some degree. But at the same time, we have a very, very big squad. 5 outfield subs were made at half-time in that game. So not everyone has played 90 minutes back-to-back. A few have, obviously, but I think, again, it just creates that competition for places, and that's what you want. You want to be competing and playing at these games and just making sure you do the right things and recover as well.
Osborne Ricketts to take the free kick for Swindon. That might go too far, it does. It was Davis who was there on the edge of the 6-yard box for Swindon. And the fact that you're saying about the 10-0 win, Southampton women's 9-0 at Maidenhead, do you think a lot of that was due to the centre-backs bombing forward, and as you said, so used sometimes to playing full-backs, or was that slightly different lineup then?
I still believe, yeah, we did play still our kind of 3-5-2 formation as it is, but I think again we've got so much competition for places. I mean, you look at our midfield today, you've got and you look at our bench, we've got Phoebe Williams, who's come back from injury and she played 45 minutes on Thursday. You've got Erin Bloomfield, I believe at the minute, is our top goal scorer. You've got Chloe Gilroy, Alicia Buckingham, so you've got so much competition for places in every position on the pitch. Maisie Smith, she's anywhere across the back four and centre mid. So again, I think it's one of those that we should win those games, no matter what the standard. We know that we have to take points, and obviously the amount of goals you can score is fantastic, but I think the competition for places speaks itself really. If you're not going to perform in this team, you're not going to be on the pitch come the next game, because someone will be wanting to take your spot.
Yeah, it can only be healthy. We mentioned Chloe Gilroy there. Her injury time striker at Bournemouth, a 3-2 win in the FA Cup against Swindon last season. Get to the third round for the first time. It'd be fantastic if the Cherries can do that again this season.
Hopefully not stressful.
No. Portchester next to come in a couple of weeks' time in the next round. Not a bad ball in. Down the line from Stripple, throw to the Cherries. And that's going to be fantastic for the profile, isn't it? If you can go on a run and go maybe even further than the third round, would be fantastic.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, we've got AFC Portchester in the next round. Again, they're a few tiers below us, but it's not going to be an easy game, and we need to be at our best for that. Ironically, our club captain, Gemma Hillier, is now playing for them, so it's going to be nice to go and watch her.
Oh, what an opportunity, sorry, that was. Again from Stripple there on the volley from close range.
Yeah, she'll be disappointed with that.
Yeah, big opportunity. Bournemouth have had the best chances so far. Be interesting, Ilya moving on. I think she was pretty honest with her comments as well about her reasons to move on to Portchester.
Yeah, again, the competition for places as well. And Gemma's a fantastic player, fantastic person to have in the group. And it was just personal reasons that she wanted to go and sign for Portchester and get that opportunity this season.
As the sun comes out here. Oh, that's brilliant play there from Bowers. And now Cherries could get on the breakaway here. Ball out from James. And now it's a square pass. It could open up for Thompson, and that might be the one. That's not the one. And Bournemouth already inside the first 20 minutes will wonder how they've not broken the deadlock. Another big chance moving through the gears there.
Yeah, great interception from Kelsey, and then KJ's ran probably about 60 yards with it. Played a really good ball into Jenna, and Jenna's, like I said, her movement is key for us. Her pace, she's been causing them chaos at the minute, and Kenny unfortunately just dragged that a little bit too far.
And she really burst into the scene, didn't she, coming in and scoring in her first 3 games after coming from La Liga?
Yeah, no, we know we've played against Jenna, and obviously me being a coach from many years ago, we know what her threat and what she brings to the squad. And we always say there's so many different players. You've got Ellie Stripple playing as more of an attacking role today. She's very kind of wants to come and meet the ball and link up, and Jenna likes to make those longer runs, and we have to use our players' strengths. We can't just have a one-size-fits-all, and if we use Jenna's strengths today, she's going to cause that back three carnage. There
is Thompson again with the ball in. Ball out now is a cross in, chipped in. There we go. No need a but just go back to Kenny Thompson. It was a real coup, wasn't it, to get her into the club, considering the levels that she's played at.
Yeah, I know Kenny's played in English football, and she was at Ibar at the time that we signed her, and she came in, I think it was either November or the January, and hit the ground running, and yeah, she's been phenomenal. And it's always one of those things, seeing a lefty put a ball in as well. It's brilliant to have her here, and her crossing ability, her work rate. She's bombing on for fun. I mean, she's playing wing back today, but she's practically a winger at the minute, so hopefully she can get a few more goals. She scored one on Thursday against Bournemouth Sports, and hopefully she can get a couple more today.
Yeah, real good experience there brought into the club, as you say there about Ibar. Started at Barcelona as well, which I think is probably the only player that can say they've been involved in the Barcelona youth team.
Yeah, sure,
coming through.
Name drop that.
To get that in there at some point. Just too short for Thompson. He's going to get there though that time. This could be dangerous here though. Once more Markham. Encouraged to shoot. May as well have a go. Did wonder if it was going to take a deflection. Not to be. The Hall shot actually helped Portsmouth seal the National League South title last season and move up to the Championship. They had a terrific campaign last season. You can see why, I mean, you know, being not far away as well, Portsmouth, a lot of players do come from there, but I suppose that's the next step, it feels, Bournemouth to try and get to Pompey's level in a couple of years' time as Swindon put the ball in. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, we had Kelsey on loan last season from them, and obviously made it permanent this year, and recruiting Ali in as well. KJ and Molly Barron-Clark have also played for Portsmouth. So yeah, you're always going to get that coming around the south coast of Southampton, Portsmouth and Bournemouth. But yeah, we want to be following in Portsmouth and Bournemouth and Southampton's footsteps, to be getting into the Championship and pushing further.
Now here's the Cherries on the ball now with Hall. Chip forward from Baron Clark, goes to the 1-2, and again Kenny Thompson. Really good ball in. Oh, flag does go up, which is a shame. Oh, and I was going to say that's when they do put the ball in the net, but not quite. The flag does go up. Cherries have had the better of the opportunities for sure. Free kick though.
Yeah, good ball in up to Kenny. I'd almost say sometimes Jenna needs to not run. She runs everywhere on this pitch. She's probably going to hit every blade of grass, but almost in that situation, just kind of stay in the box, let Kenny have a 1v1 and hopefully can get to the byline and pull it back. And we had 3 bodies in the box there, which was great. Again, I say the attacking, the more bodies we can get in the box to have that opportunity, and Molly unfortunately offside there.
Remember you saying last time that you know, aspirations to become manager or head coach in the Super League, is that still aspirations to do that, do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, long term that's the aim. I'm really fortunate at the minute. I'm coaching at AFC Bournemouth's Boys Pre-Academy, so a completely different role again. Really loving the opportunity, and their academy system is fantastic. So yeah, long term aim is to go into coaching. In the WSL would be fantastic, but at the same time, if I end up doing a coaching role that I love, whether it be in the Bournemouth Academy or wherever, it's just about trying to learn and grow within my coaching career.
Now there's a chance here for Viviash. So he tries to do enough, and well, fortuitously that could easily have snuck its way in. Bournemouth luckily get themselves a goal kick.
I had to remember I was on commentary then, so I couldn't say something.
It's easy to forget.
That was very, very close.
I'll have a look at that again on the replay. Yeah, it was just a whisker away, wasn't it?
I think if that was on target, that's slightly over Erin, that's in the back of the net. So
yep.
We need to be careful on the, like I said again, on the transition, not diving in and just getting your body in the way.
Important during those periods as well when Bournemouth are on top to take advantage, because
yeah,
it doesn't always last, does it?
Yeah, we talk about that a lot. It's about there have been some games where we've won the game and it's been comfortable, but actually it should have been double what the scoreline was, and it's just making sure we're always confident that we're going to have possession and that we can attack and get opportunities like you've already seen. It's just making sure that we're getting a bit more clinical and that we are taking those chances, because if we don't get one and we go in 0-0 at half time, they could get one, park the bus, and then it's a completely different game.
Throw for Bournemouth, that goes out for a Cherry's throw. Doing well in all the cup competitions so far, Bournemouth, and in the league. It couldn't be going much better. Pretty perfect record so far.
Yeah, we've been doing really, really well. I think, again, the more games we can get is competition for places.
Yeah.
And, yeah, we've had a really good cup run. Hopefully that's going to go into the December period and in the new year. And if we're successful against AFC Portchester, go into, I believe, round 3 after that. Any team, we played Charlton last year at the Vitality, fantastic experience for the girls, and we're in the League Cup quarter-final, I believe, against Cambridge. So again, a really, really good opportunity. I don't think we've ever been that far in the plate or the cup, so yeah, it's looking good for the girls, and again, more competition for places.
Certainly is. Bournemouth doing well so far. It's gone pretty quickly at the moment, this first half an hour. Bournemouth have had 6 or 7 good opportunities. Thompson, Markham, Stripple coming close particularly. James has had a shot which went over the crossbar. And Abby Jones getting herself into the box and having an effort on target. Don't want the old commentator's curse, but Erin Foley at the moment, that one went over the bar, didn't it? And
I really hope you're not commentating.
I'm not going to say it now.
No, in the nicest possible way. I hope she does absolutely nothing today. But again, she's a fantastic keeper. We've got 3 phenomenal keepers in our first team, and yeah, like I said, hopefully she hasn't got a lot to do today.
Rugby Borough to success in the cup after a penalty shootout success last season. 7 years at Bristol City, the goalkeeper.
Yeah, she came in midway through an unfortunate situation that happened. We had Danny get injured, I think in our first game against Bristol Rovers, and as she was coming back, Katie Scadding, our other keeper, got injured at the same time, so we were really, really struggling right near the start, and didn't have a keeper, so we were thinking about what was going to happen, and we were successful in getting Erin.
Awesome space there for Markham. Yeah, and that's a good ball in. Again, had some space. Almost had too much time to think about that, it felt.
Yeah, she scored those 3 headers in the first game. She's not going to score another now.
No. Use them all up probably for one season.
Hope I'm proved wrong.
Yeah, that was a difficult angle, wasn't it? Probably that one for her. So not had many of these so far. Got a corner now though. Half an hour gone. Can they break the deadlock here? Oh, couldn't quite find Markham. Dangerous ball in. It's Kelsey Bowers. Be pretty pleased with what he's seen so far. I think Steve Cuss is just being clinical, as we mentioned.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're moving the ball well. We know how they'll set up. They start in kind of a 3-5-2, and sometimes they drop to either like a 5-3-2 or a 4-4-2. So the analysis that we had was spot on, and it's just about, like you said, being a bit more clinical. We're moving the ball well. I just think we need to start moving their defence a little bit more, getting it wide, switching play that little bit quicker, and then just being clinical with our chances. We've had the opportunities, so I imagine the half-time team talk would just be same again, but make sure we're more clinical.
Well, there's big plans for the team, though, with Bill Foley buying out the team 2 years ago, previously under the Community Sports Trust. Said when he came in how much he wants to invest. And when these matches are at the Vitality Stadium, that just increases the profile game by game.
Yeah, and the club has been phenomenal. Sometimes when you hear about men's clubs bringing their women's teams into the fold, it sometimes can be kind of a token gesture or a tick box, and that's certainly not the case at this club. From a personal point of view of my injury, they've been nothing short of fantastic. And like I said, it's just getting better and better with the new training ground, the backing that they're giving the women's team, and now it's up to us to do the job. We need to get promotion. We need to be pushing and knocking on their door going, we've got promoted, now what's next?
I won't name any names, but how tough is it to see a couple of clubs It's in the Super League particularly. Is it talk of cutting the budget? You know, these are big, powerful, multi-million clubs that are, you know, making big cuts in the women's game. How tough is that to see at times?
It's hard, and sometimes you're not surprised. I mean, when I was playing for Yeovil in the Women's Super League, we weren't really funded by the men. It was kind of just sponsors and the executive board and all of that trying to get money in, and we really struggled. When you look at Arsenal, Man United, Man City, Chelsea, they're all doing it in the right way, and the rest of the league are starting to catch up with them. Tottenham got a fantastic setup, and you see all the way. Crystal Palace have just been promoted, but again, they're all doing it the right way, and they're getting the right backing. It's just making sure that they can put on performances and really get the backing of the men's clubs and getting the right resources in, because the league's only getting better and better.
Chance for Markham now. Another chance here as James manages to find the back of the net. It felt like it was coming eventually. Katie James had a go, it worked, and it's a deserved lead as Bournemouth put the pressure on the leaders by taking the lead against them. Cherries 1, Swindon 0.
Yeah, fantastic goal from KJ. I do feel a bit sorry for Swindon, because I think KJ's flick on to Gemma McGuinness. I think Gemma might have been offside, but great cutback, touch, finish above the keeper. She's been on form. I think she scored 7 now in, can't remember how many games she's scored in a row now, but yeah, 7 goals now already. She's been brilliant.
And that'll be interesting to see how this game develops now, because naturally Swindon will have to push forward up to half time a little bit more, even though they have been trying to get on a breakaway at times. Yeah,
100%. I mean, I think Swindon's game plan will continue the way they are. They're trying to defend really well and get us on the transition, but at the same time, we've scored 1 goal. We can't sit on that. We've got to continue and push even harder than what we have now.
I'm not sure what the referee there's catching up back to the centre circle. I'm not sure what that was about.
I think the 2 centre backs were unhappy with the linesman and voicing their opinion.
Yeah.
There was another look back on the highlights. It's a hard one because it was a great finish from KJ, but from our angle it did look like Joe McGuinness was offside.
Yeah, some big appeals. Alice Parker, the referee today. Bournemouth with a deserved lead. That's the second effort for James, and this time manages to find its way into the back of the net. And unlike the 2 games against Exeter, which Bournemouth couldn't quite beat, hopefully this will change with the side at the top this time, Swindon. Bournemouth can make it 8 league wins in 8. Only 22 league matches as well, so when you look at 8 games, it's over a third of the way through the season.
Yeah, I think that's why I think we're really enjoying the cup run as well. We've been really, I say really fortunate. We've deserved our wins and we've worked hard for them, but it gives us, if there's not a game scheduled in the league, then it gives us that continued run of form and bringing us into these games. And for me, from my point of view, if there's more games that are played at the end of the season, going from January onwards, then I'm more than happy with that. It gives me more games to try and fight for my spot in the team.
Yeah, I don't blame. Is it frustrating though having just 22 league games? Because if you, hypothetically, if you go out of 3 cup competitions at the first round, you know, only 25 games in a season.
Yeah, and I think it's quite hard in Tier 4 as well, because you do get, I think last season it was kind of a top 6 or top 5 or a top 6 and a bottom 6, and you could have unfortunately you had Selsey last year that were really unfortunate with losing a lot of players, a lot of staff, and they ended up having to fold their development team, and you play a game against Exeter where it's kind of like a 1-1, and then you go and play a team in the lower part of the division and it's a totally different game. You've got probably 90% possession. And unfortunately, your whole game plan can change because everyone wants to score, so you can get a little bit more greedy and not think about the philosophy and the game plan and how you want to play. And then the following week, you go and play potentially a Swindon, and the whole dynamic changes again. So it is quite hard, and it's just about adapting to that, and we've got the players to do that. It's just making sure that we're consistent and, again, fighting for our spots every week.
Yeah, it's a big contrast, isn't it, between the two. Southsea, that 13-0 win for Bournemouth that started the last campaign. And James got on the score sheet now for the Cherries a couple of minutes ago. About 8 or 9 attempts now Bournemouth have had. Now Swindon have to try and come at the Cherries. On the ball now with Viviash. Just about gets to it. Good defending that time to clear the lines and do well to keep possession in the process. Stripple now. Well, I think that's a yellow card all day long. Don't think anybody can complain about that one, though, can she? That's for sure, Mead.
I think she's trying to say KJ dive, but you can see it from here. She's going in full pout, and she's not going to win that ball. And KJ's done well, and luckily got out of the way of the challenge. Otherwise, it could have been a bad one.
Well, there's no doubt she was late, was there? Looking at that replay, I think she's frustrating me because she was the one having a go at the officials a second ago as well.
Yeah, she's lucky with clapping that she's not got a second yellow as well.
Yeah. Got to be careful now. We go into the last 6 minutes for the first half. Can have a go here, why not? Oh, what a goal that is! Well, she's done it again, Katie James. How brilliantly did she hit that one? And it comes a few minutes after her first. If you thought that was good, the second one was a peach. 2-0.
A goal from KJ. We know she's got it in her, and when you hear the crowd go shoot, I think there was a slight deflection, but it was always going on target. And yeah, fantastic opportunity, and credit to KJ.
Katie James, that's her 8th of the season. She's the 3rd top goal scorer so far. Wow. She enjoyed that one.
Yeah,
let's have another look at that, yeah.
These are the moments you've got to enjoy as well. I mean, when you get a few opportunities to play at the big grounds, and she's done well. Great celebration. I always say you've got to celebrate in these moments. And yeah, great opportunity, and onto a hat-trick now for her.
Well, it is, and credit to Molly Barron-Clark who pulled it back, as you say, did take a deflection, goalkeeper getting a touch, but a fantastic strike. But a great assist as well.
Yeah, I think that's what we've started to notice is once we've got kind of Molly and Ellie Stripple and Kenny and Gemma bombing on to support Jenna, it can get quite crowded in the box, and then the space is just outside. And yeah, Molly's reading of the game is brilliant, and she's luckily found that option with KJ, and she stepped onto it and absolutely rifled it.
Double figures for Molly last season for assists. She's got an assist there and a fantastic strike from James, who is on a hat-trick. You just get the feeling if she's got the ball on the edge of the box, which I'm sure she will at some point, she's definitely going to have a go, isn't she?
She'll definitely have a go for sure.
2-0.
I think that hopefully should settle the game down a little bit for us, get a bit more control on the ball. As I say that, commentator's curse again,
yeah. But it now feels like 2-0 generally is a pretty fair scoreline now with the chances Bournemouth have created.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've taken our chances, but again, I say 1-0 is not a great scoreline, so's 2-0. They get one more goal and they're back in the game. But it's just about now we've got that little bit ahead of the game. It's about how can we be consistent and do the right things. Great tackle from Kelsey there, great battle from Molly, and we've got to be consistent with our defending. We know that we can attack, like I've said, but we've just got to make sure we do the right things here.
Dear Love wins a corner, and that is everyone putting in a shift so far. Everybody, as you say there, great work on and off the ball. 3 to half time. Plus, I think we'll have a fair bit of stoppage after that earlier injury to Beck Essen inside the first 2 minutes. Dangerous ball. Oh, and I thought that was heading in. From this angle, it looked like it.
Yeah, these are the moments we've got to be strong in defence, and I think, haven't seen the replay there, but potentially quite fortunate not to concede there, but it looks like Molly Barron-Clark's down injured. Let's see if that's not too serious.
It's never a concern having a look at that replay here. Not far off at all, that one.
I don't know if that even should have been a corner.
No, and it was a header which couldn't find the target. Sherwood coming in and racing in. Saying about injuries as well, it is a lot more common and prevalent, isn't it? ACL injuries, that's something that's a real concern, really.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we've seen it in the top divisions with Arsenal. I think they had 4 ACLs in 5 months, and it's always a worry, especially in the women's game. It's all linked with having a different type of pelvis to the men, and also the menstrual cycle plays a big factor in it. And there is a lot of research out there. I think it's just about making sure that you're doing the right things in training, you've got the right medical teams, you've got the right S&C, and also knowing your own body. I mean, you could do the same tackle or the same push off the ball time and time again, and that one time it just doesn't sit right. We've had unfortunate ACL injuries in our club this season, and yeah, it's a really tough one. It's about how you manage those individuals now on their recovery, and I think we're very, very fortunate at Bournemouth to have a fantastic medical provision and really able to help those players.
Because they can be a lot worse than fractures, kind of, when it comes to the length of time that you're out for, because you're looking a lot of the time at more than 12 months, aren't you, really? Yeah,
I mean, they say rule of thumb roughly you're looking at 9-10 months for an ACL, but again, every person's individual to that. I don't think we're quite fortunate here. I think Molly's just taken a bit of a knock, and hopefully the Swindon player hasn't got that. There's always that worry when you see a player go down with a knee injury. That's the first thing you think of, unfortunately, but hopefully it's not the case.
So a minute of normal time to go here. I've just seen the goals again. The second goal looks sort of better and better the more you watch it. And she's been the star of the show so far, Katie James.
Yeah, she makes me laugh because she's the most self-critical player of herself. She'll probably come off and say, I should have done this and I should have done that, rather than actually just going, I've scored 2 goals today. But yeah, I mean, she was last season, and I think a season before that she was doing a bit more of the holding role where Ali Hall's been playing now, and it's given her a bit more licence to push forward. And I've been telling her, you've got to make sure that you're getting in the box and contributing, and she's certainly doing that, and credit to her. 2 fantastic goals.
25 goals in just over 90 games when she was at Pompey. She's got 7 goals to her name so far this campaign as we go into stoppage time. So far so good for Bournemouth. 2 goals in the space of 8 minutes, both by the same player. Goal kick Swindon, 5 minutes of added time, probably about what we were expecting. Looking to make it 24 points from 8 today. Still a long way to go. That first 5-10 minutes of the second half is going to be interesting to see how each team approaches it.
Yeah, definitely. We played Worthing in the cup, and I think we went in 4-0 at half time, and we said to the girls, it's like, firstly, we've got to get a clean sheet in the second half, and unfortunately we weren't able to do that, and we ended up losing the second half 2-1, but we're fortunate enough to already have the goals ahead. So I don't think it's going to be exactly the same in the second half, but we need to be consistent.
That one's out for another throw. 4-2 win at home to Portishead in their last league game for Swindon.
Might even see some changes going into the second half from them, because playing on a big pitch like this, you've got nothing to lose. You need to get the goals, and they might be a tweak of formation, it might be a tweak of personnel, but I don't think they're going to come out into the second half the same as what they've done.
Yeah, used to playing at their home games at Fairford FC, Cinder Lane, and really, I suppose a lot of players at the 4th tier for some, it probably was a very rare experience, I suppose, to play on a pitch like this, because some hardly ever do it at all.
I think also it's not only the pitch. Saw an interview that their captain Annie did, and they talked about the day itself. I mean, having the fantastic crowd that we've got here, I knew that at the start of this week we'd sold over 5,000 tickets. It's definitely more than that, and they've said that they haven't played in front of a bigger crowd such as this, and obviously they're the away team, so they're going to have a good number of fans coming their way, but the majority are going to be Bournemouth fans, so it's how they can now rise to the occasion.
Helen Blezard with me, live coverage here with Esset. We're halfway through stoppage time. Both goals from James. Bournemouth have had the better of it with chances. Swindon's best chance was just over the bar from a ball from the right-hand side. That's good football as well, as Markham won't quite find Baron Clark. It's good to see her okay after that concern a few minutes ago. It's Kenny square. Here is James. There's Bowers with the cross. Markham's header. And that, wow, just goes wide there from Baron Clark. Thought that was going to come in off the post.
Yeah, Lino's not given it, but I do think she may have been offside again. So Swindon defenders are not happy with that Lino. But yeah, again, brilliant opportunity. Molly's annoyed with herself because she probably knows she should have hit the back of the net with that.
You just wonder how Izzy Mead would have responded if that had gone in already on a yellow card. Probably best for her sake that didn't happen. On the chase now, trying to win the ball. Good crowd. We'll get the, I think, probably official attendance in the second half. That's straight at Kenny for Bournemouth. May as well have a go. That, oh, just wondered there because you could just see it, couldn't you? Curl, and you just knew it was going to find the net if it had just dipped a tad.
Yeah, we had the perfect angle behind that. Goalies tried to play out from the back and it's not quite worked, but Kenny's latched onto that and you could hear the fans go and shoot. And we know she's got it in her locker, just unfortunate on top of the net rather than in the back of it.
Does that encourage you when if you hear shoot just to have a go, do you think?
It always does. Even at centre back, you go running through and the ball comes out to you. You know it's probably not the thing that you should be doing, but when the crowd are hearing it, you just get that encouragement and you think, why not?
Yeah, you feel...
I'm the worst for it at centre back.
Well, the crowd can't complain then because they've encouraged you to do it, even if it goes into row Z.
Manager might though.
Yeah, that's true. Seconds remain. Brilliant half so far for Bournemouth. Brilliant season so far. Still no whistle. Straight to McDonald. Graham tried to feed it through. Maybe a little bit more added on with that stoppage just before half time. Look at the watch from the referee. Need the whistle to go now because into the box it goes. That will be that for the first half. An excellent half for Bournemouth. So far so good. It felt with all the chances they were creating, you wondered how they didn't score inside the first half hour. But 2 goals again in the first, just before 40 minutes. And Helen, what a fantastic first half that is for the Cherries.
I mean, you can't ask for much more. Clean sheet, 2 goals, fantastic 2 goals as well. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of keep doing what you're doing really going into that. Swindon will naturally have to change because they need to come out and get some more opportunities. They've had a few opportunities on goal, but nothing in comparison to what Bournemouth have had. So yeah, good to go in, winning, but exciting second half to come.
So there we go, there's a first strike from James, and the second one was even better. So James strike the first time. Let's have another look at that one again. Yeah, great finish from her. She had an effort earlier on as well, which kind of sailed over the crossbar. Good touch. And actually, that looks even better when you look at it from that angle, because it was at a real angle and a celebration to match. About 8-9 minutes later, things are even better for Bournemouth. And she was on the score sheet again, Katie James. What about this for a strike? Some distance from 25 yards out. Did take a deflection and did get a touch off goalkeeper Hannah Cox. But nonetheless, to do that from that distance, to hit it with that pace, and she was left with no chance in goal. Wonderful strike, and one that you can watch again and again and still enjoy. How the home fans love that one. credit as well to Baron Clark with the assist in the first place, and every angle you watch that just looks fantastic. Bournemouth have had 9 or 10 opportunities, Swindon 2 or 3, but you'd say Bournemouth have been well on top so far in this clash between the top two. Let's see what the second half can bring at Vitality Stadium. We'll be back in just under a quarter of an hour. So far so good for Bournemouth. Half time, Bournemouth 2, Swindon 0. Welcome back to Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth have a 2-0 lead against Swindon. Two really good finishes, particularly the second one, both from Katie James. Lots of opportunities for Bournemouth again in the first half, and they took two of them. And Swindon Town, at the moment, still top of the table by the 1 point, but let's see what the Cherries can produce in the second half. Hopefully they can build on that first half performance. Helen Blezard with me. I'm Ian Wilding for this live stream second half with Esset, and hopefully more of the same second half.
Yeah, no, definitely. There's going to be one sub from us where Jo McGuinness is coming off. She's got a manager minutes coming back from injury, so I think Phoebe Williams is coming on for her. So it's going to be a slight adjustment of positions, but formation doesn't change. But again, yeah, kind of similar to what I said. I think it's kind of, we just need to be a bit more clinical. It's great that we're 2-0 up, but we probably could be 5.
Yeah.
And it's just making sure that we're still detailed on our transition and making sure we're defensively sound, because coming away with a win today is great, but just the little details like clean sheets and confidence from a defensive point of view as well, moving into the tougher games.
Steve Cuss generally pretty calm, was he, at half time?
Yeah, he sounded like he'd lost his voice a little bit, but it was pretty much similar to what I just said in terms of just making sure we're a bit more clinical, keep doing what we're doing, but just those fine margins and the details with defending, making sure we're just clinical in our 1v1s, we keep that clean sheet, and defensively we're sound to build off that going into our attack.
So Phoebe Williams on a half-time, again a good sub to bring on, another player with experience, doing so well with #United last season, and also at Southampton, moving up into the Championship.
Yeah, definitely. I think she was captain at Southampton as well, so come up through kind of on that journey and that project that Southampton had over the last kind of 5 years. So she's got that experience in the WSL and going up through, and she's been unfortunate as well. She's coming back from a hamstring injury, but one of her biggest assets is she runs for days, so coming on at half-time on a pitch like this, she's going to be phenomenal in terms of her work rate, her attitude, and just all-round wanting to get on the ball and help the team, so it's not a bad sub to be able to bring on.
Well, I've had the official attendance confirmed as 6,054, and there was talk of around 5,000, 6,054. That's very impressive.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I said, I knew at the start of the week it was around the 5,000 mark, and I had a guess it would be around 5,500, 5,700 today. So again, a huge crowd for us. Hopefully we can just build the community and build the family dynamic around this club, and the more games we get here and the draw that we can get in, it's just going to get better and better. And I think some of these crowd attendances that we get are higher than some of the Championship attendances, so again it's only getting better for us.
Very close to a record. The first ever competitive game here at Vitality Stadium 2022, a 4-1 win against Chesham, 1,592 for that one, and there were 6,805 for the game against Portishead in November 2023. It feels like only a matter of time before you're getting into your 7s and 8,000s.
Hopefully. I mean, and looking at the size of the stadium here, hopefully in the next few games and the next few years we can potentially sell it out. I don't think that's unachievable for this club, and it's a huge thanks to, because obviously we can put on performances here, but it's a huge credit to the club, the media team, everyone involved. We can't do it without them, and they've put on a fantastic show today, and building it up to the game as well. Everything they do on and off the pitch for us, we're really appreciative of.
They're brilliant to see. Fantastic atmosphere here today. Over 6,000. And so far they've been treated to 2 Bournemouth goals, who had a chance in the first 20 seconds of the first half. They might have a chance here within the first 10 seconds of the second half, and they do have an effort on target.
Ellie Strippel again.
Yeah, wants the same player as the first half.
Yeah, she'll be dying to get on the score sheet today, with Swindon being her former club. But again, slightly different position for her today in one of the 2 striker roles, but naturally as a midfielder she's dropping in to try and get a bit of an overload and get on the ball.
Williams heads on. This is up towards Triple, who tries to turn provider this time. This time Markham can't get the shot away. But again, James did, and now Markham across, and that just manages to get its way in, but the flag does go up on the near side. Well, thought that was the perfect start to the second half, but that's 2-3 shots Bournemouth have had, and we've not even had a minute played, or just about now, in the second half.
And again, you look at the front line, you've got Kenny, Jenna, Ellie, and like I said, Phoebe will run and run and run, so the fact that she's already got in the box twice is fantastic. KJ's kind of reverted out to more of the wide position where Joe McGuinness was, but that little setback almost on a hat-trick.
And you don't want to curse things, I may have tempted to do in the first, but we'll come back to the second. Markham plays it back, and Baron Clark again, just the angle was restricted for her, does take a deflection for a corner. But I say, I don't want to curse things, but a third goal you think would really kill Swindon now today, you would say.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those situations. I'm sure that they've played well, to be fair, going into half time, and there will obviously be a few adjustments that they'll have to make. A few probably personnel, but maybe tactical as well, because they've got to come and they've got to push on and start attacking more. But if Bournemouth can get that third goal early, it should and hopefully kill them off.
66 goals for the Cherries now. Those 2 today, looking for the 67th with this corner. Dangerous area, and comes back again. James looking for a hat-trick, might get another chance for a hat-trick. Well, Swindon defend well there. And just that call, that ball into the box was just a perfect ball. Just needed a Cherry's head to make contact.
I almost thought that was Amber's. I said to her before the game, if she scores, she's got to come and celebrate with me.
Barrows with a cross. Oh, and a good chance there. Markham running in.
Header now, I really have. Great ball from Kelsey. It's coming. It's, again, like you said, probably 3 or 4 opportunities in the first 5 minutes, and Jen will be itching to get a goal, and she's doing the right thing. She's putting herself in the right areas, and just got to be that little bit more clinical and hitting the target.
2 headers from Markham, and just keeping that momentum going from Thursday after that 5-0 win at Bournemouth Sports for the Cherries.
Yeah, and it was a totally different game again. I mean, Bournemouth Sports, they were very, very compact, very well organised, and I think actually if they just need to get a few more goals and potentially a bit more of an attacking threat against some of the teams around them, they'll definitely have a chance of staying in this league. And we only went in 1-0 at half time, and we were quite fortunate at going in 1-0. We weren't as clinical as what we should have been, and they made it hard for us. So it was fair play to them. I think towards the end we'd made 5 subs at half time, so fresh legs, and I think fitness was a factor in getting the better of them. But again, it was a really good battle on a derby night.
Please not to have been commentating on that one, though. Bournemouth against Bournemouth, that could have got quite confusing, as a bit like Southampton women's against Southampton FC women. Yeah,
and also I think Bournemouth Sports have about 5 or 6 former AFC Bournemouth players as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it does make things confusing, but it was AFC Bournemouth who came out convincing winners the other night, and a convincing performance so far with this 2-0 lead, and it could so easily have been more second half. 3 great opportunities already, and this is, you'd say, despite the first half brilliant performance, it's been the best period so far since half time, this first 4 minutes of the second half. You'd be surprised if this is finishing 2-0 though.
Yeah, it would be a shame if there are no goals in the second half. Again, fitness might play a factor because it is a huge pitch. I was doing some running beforehand, doing my rehab, and you don't actually realise until you're on the pitch how big it is. I mean, we've got a fantastic amount of subs on the bench and the quality that they've got, and hopefully they'll all make an impact when they come on, and that should help us in our attacks and hopefully getting more goals.
It has been international week for the Championship sides and Super League sides over the last week or two. But for you, with all your caps that you've won for Wales, how much did you sort of enjoy those international weeks when they come around?
Oh yeah, they were brilliant. Sometimes it would be just one game, sometimes it would be a double header. And again, just fantastic opportunities. You're with players that you either play against in a week in, week out, or that play internationally, and again getting to meet up with them, but also experiencing playing against different teams, different countries. It's a great opportunity from like a life experience point of view as well, and obviously you get the opportunity to play and train every day to then try and compete in the European and World Cup qualifiers.
So Colston running forward there. Important not to give her too much of an opportunity though. Swindon's top goal scorer.
Yeah, she's a proven goal scorer at this level and for Swindon, and always love my battles against her. They were always good, and they're the ones that you want. You don't want the ones where you are cruising, and I know everyone will say it'd be nice to win every game 10-0, but actually these are the battles that you want to play against. These are the challenges that you want to put yourself in as a player to only improve and get better, and she's a fantastic person to represent Swindon, and has now been captain this year.
Lead now for Swindon, who got that yellow card in the first half. Just going back to the international, because when you were younger, you went from a younger level at England to Wales senior. Is that a tough decision to make, or is it a no-brainer really for you?
I think it kind of all comes down to a lot of players do it if they in a youth system, and I was very fortunate to play all the way up until the under-21s and be involved in those training camps, and I've got an opportunity to be able to represent England and Wales, and I saw the opportunity at the time and thought I was playing alongside a number of players at Bristol Academy that were playing in the Welsh setup as well, and then I thought it'd be a fantastic opportunity for me to represent Wales and do the best I can for them, but to also push myself further and really put myself on a stage of playing against international players, and thoroughly enjoyed it. Every game I've played, and playing in multiple positions as well, and playing under multiple coaches. So yeah, I think it's been a fantastic opportunity. Phoebe's had the opportunity of playing in the England youth setup as well. I'm sure she'll echo the same points.
Well, the flag goes up there, and it's just gone, I'd say, possibly one of the quietest periods now, the last 4 or 5 minutes after a riveting start to the second half. "15 players have been on the score sheet for Bournemouth already this season, though. Only one so far today. 2 great strikes from James. Swindon, they started with a 4-2 win at Keynsham, followed by a narrow 1-0 win at home to Bournemouth Sports. Straight to Bowers, who gets it away. Back from Stripple. Through ball here. She could be in. This could be Markham's opportunity. Is it going to be? Oh, no, it's not. Whiskers wide of the post. Getting closer.
Yeah, that's the ball I was talking earlier about, Jenna's pace and her threat, and put Molly on the ball. She can pick that ball out all day long, and unfortunate for Jenna there. It's on her left. She probably would have preferred her right.
Yeah, perfect ball over the top, wasn't it?
Yeah, great ball from Molly. She loves those types of balls. Sometimes she loves a no-look pass with it as well, but as soon as you give her the ball, it's the best thing for the strikers. They know that she, along with a multitude of our players, that can put that ball on a sixpence for them, and it was a perfect opportunity for Jenna there. We knew her pace would take it away from the defenders. It's just unfortunate on her left foot. Another day that's in the back of the net.
So the shot there of Steve Cuss shouting out instructions. I am now worried about his voice at full. What's he going to be like at full time? Is he quite vocal? Or it is at the moment, isn't he? But just generally, he looks like he's generally vocal for 90 minutes on that touchline.
He's usually quite quiet on the touchline, to be fair. I think obviously it's natural, the occasion and the fans and being at the stadium. It does increase that added pressure for players and staff, and being so loud in here, you really have to shout to get your voice across, because you could be 10 yards away from your teammate and they just can't hear you. And obviously he's got to try and get some information across to multiple players.
Yeah, now 10 gone in the second half. Colston does well. Stay focused on the back at the back. But she's had a good game, hasn't she, Treweek, there with a fantastic challenge, well timed.
Yeah, me and her played as a centre-back partnership for a majority of the season last year, and desperately missed playing alongside her, but she's a very quiet player. She just gets on with the job, does the business, nothing fancy about it, but she's a fantastic character to have in the team, and her performances, she's calm and composed at the back, sometimes too calm and composed, because we all get a bit worried, but she never lets us down.
Yeah, and she certainly didn't then either. Williams, the substitute, came on at half time. Yeah, that's a McDonald. Seems like better from Swindon last 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, they've started to get again, I've talked about they need to make the pitch as wide as possible, so do we, and they've had a few opportunities down the left-hand side recently. It's probably a slight tweak in the fact that Katie James is playing there, and in terms of they're trying to push forward a lot more, so she's having to come back a lot, which is creating those spaces. And they need to get on the ball, and they need to start getting higher up the pitch, which, credit to them, they have done. Luckily, we haven't had a clear-cut chance yet, but they have definitely had a lot more possession than the first half.
Brilliant from Colston, who went out wide. And well, you'd say that's possibly the first attempt on target I can think of. First time, or maybe second, that Foley's had anything to do, but that was pretty routine for her.
Yeah, good save from her, nice, calm and composed, and probably made it look a lot easier than what it was. But again, Swindon, they've started to build. They've definitely got more people up the pitch now, which is going to be a good battle for the back three, and they're having a lot more possession in terms of keeping it. They've had a lot of possession in the first half, but I think their transition, they were just giving it away a little bit. But they've obviously had a good chat at half time, and they've started to keep the ball a lot better and cause us a few problems.
So Bournemouth had a goal difference of 6 better than Swindon going into the game. They've now got a 10 better goal difference with those 2 today and 2 conceded for Swindon. And ultimately that could be what the difference is come the end of the season. Probably be close.
Yeah, we said that at the start of last season with Exeter, is the fact that it could all come down to goal difference. And again, if it could be 1 or 2 games this season that defines the league, and we've got to make sure that we're scoring enough goals, but also clean sheets are so important. We were doing really, really well start the season in terms of keeping clean sheets, and last season we just, even if we won the game 4-2, we were disappointed that we had conceded some goals, and we need to make sure that we're still clinical at both ends of the pitch.
Katie James has been clinical so far. Those 2 goals in the first half. Swindon have slowly got themselves back into the game since minute 50. They've had a couple of opportunities. But you just imagine there's going to be another point in the game soon when Bournemouth start to move on to another level once more.
Yeah, I think, like I said, the first half and the second half are always going to be very different. The first half was pretty much a basketball game. But again, like I said, we haven't had as much possession. It's not that we've been poor, it's just that Swindon have started to get hold of the ball a bit better and not lose the ball in their transition. So hopefully it's been a bit of a stalemate at the minute, the first 20 minutes, but we still again have had opportunities, and we just need to be more clinical, and maybe some subs coming on might change that as well with a bit of fresh legs.
Triple with a pass to Thompson. Thompson goes down. Still somehow managed to get that shot away. Colson's just starting to slowly get himself into the second half now.
Yeah, she's started to pick up different pockets of space, and rather than being just central all the time, she's coming out a little bit wider, and again, she's quite similar to Jenna in terms of her pace is very good, but she's actually a very strong centre forward as well.
As Kenny Thompson comes back, Markham just had a very small window, didn't she, to have the shot there?
Yeah, possibly on her left foot as well, but KJ was at the back looking for that setback. It just didn't quite happen.
Kenny with the ball in. And Baron Clark again, she got contact on it the way that she wanted to, didn't she? But it just wasn't quite going to find the target.
Yeah, again, good positioning from her. KJ's kind of stepped in there and the ball's come out, and she's got really good contact on it, just slightly wide, and I just heard her scream then. She's always wanting to score goals like that from the outside the box, so she'll be disappointed, but again, it's better. We just need to be that little bit more clinical.
Scored a few of those in her career. She's got one opportunity to do it again. Might come to Williams. Is she going to get the opportunities and the options there? She finds one eventually in James to Bowers. Katie James to Williams, and it did dip again. Not a bad effort, and why not with the space she had there?
Yeah, and it's not even just about the shot there. KJ, Kelsey and Phoebe, fantastic link up. It's come out wide. Phoebe didn't really have any options, and then she's found KJ, and again they've just played triangles around them and managed to play it through. Really good movement from Kelsey and KJ, and Phoebe unlucky with the shot, but again, it's another opportunity we need to start taking.
It's gone pretty quickly, this game. It will start to feel slowly whether it feels, unless Bournemouth can get a third, because it still feels like this isn't quite over just yet.
No. And again, I still back our team that I do think we'll have more opportunities to score. I think Swindon are getting more possession, but it's either going to be a set piece or potentially a mistake from us that could result in them having an opportunity to shoot or a goal, and that's no disrespect to them as well. I just think we've played very, very well, and we've put our bodies on the line to block, but also be very, very physical with them.
Portishead to come next week for Bournemouth away, then Portchester in the FA Cup. A couple of away matches, not at home until Bristol Rovers on December the 9th.
Yeah, again, two completely different games to today, and we've got a fantastic squad to do that. If we have an injury, then we've usually got someone who can replace them. And like I said, Portishead in the league is going to be a very good match. They'll want to make sure that they're as tight and compact as similar to kind of Bournemouth Sports, and then we go in the Cup. We love the magic of the FA Cup with Portchester, and again, they'll be doing their analysis. They'll want to make sure that they can put on as best performance against us and be really, really hard to break down and beat. And that's another situation that we've got to adapt to and try and be the better team on the day.
James down the line to Stripple. Stripple's pass. Oh, it's a brilliant finish, and that should be game, set and match. And how Molly Barron-Clark deserves that. She had a great effort on the edge of the box a few minutes ago. She was provided for the second. She scored the third. And Bournemouth are heading for 3 points here against the leaders. 3-0.
Great build-up play again. Just looking at it then. Ellie's pulled out wide. Fantastic. She's got her head up. She knows she's put that on a plate for Molly, because that's the exact ball that Ellie would want if she was in the box. And perfect midfield run. I was saying we've had so many opportunities where we've had people getting bodies in the box, not just the strikers, and that's a perfect example of Molly picking the right time to get on it, and first time finish straight in the back of the net, and loves a little Klinsmann celebration.
Yeah. You've enjoyed that one. Stripple there, who actually scored a fantastic strike against Bournemouth for Swindon last season against their ex-club with a really good assist. As you said, a run there from Barron-Clark, brilliant stuff. And that, as you say, that was the third goal they were looking for. Yeah,
definitely. It took a little bit longer than what they would have hoped, but hopefully that's going to settle them down a bit more, and I think there's going to be some subs coming on soon, so hopefully that will kick on the energy. We don't want to stop with this energy. We're doing really, really well, and again, like we've talked about, goal difference. We need to put as many goals and points on the board.
It'd be good to get the win here, because the last couple not expected to beat Charlton in the FA Cup in December last year here. Obviously a comfortable win for Charlton, and then the 1-1 though that against Keynsham. Remember the goalkeeper that day, Charlotte Haynes, was the hero, and it was a similar kind of game to this, but just save after save. So
yeah.
Nice to get a win here at Vitality Stadium if that carries on like it is.
Yeah, definitely. It's a bit weird because we love being at the Vitality, and we're so grateful for the opportunities, but it's actually our ground that we haven't had the best record on. I think apart from today, the last 4 games we've only won 1. We've drawn 1 and we've drawn 2 and lost 1. So we knew we wanted to make a mark today, and I think this is a really good game to do it. We want to play against top of the table clashes. Even though it puts pressure on us, they're the games that you compete in, and we want to be making a statement in this league, and yeah, being given this opportunity today has been a fantastic one.
Yeah, a very young squad saw Bournemouth draw 0-0 against Maidenhead in one of those 4 games as well. Yeah,
very, very young squad. I think the 3 most experienced players in the team of me, Molly Barron-Clark and Katie James weren't available for that game, so I think the average age went down a considerable amount.
Yeah, there's some experience out there today though, and Bournemouth are really enjoying themselves out now. Corner kick, and it felt like the goal came at the right time, because you just felt Swindon still have something in them to get themselves back in at 2-0.
Yeah, they were definitely starting to build it, and like I said, Annie Colston had a shot from it going into Erin, but It was always going to happen. You're never going to be, you see it in the Premier League games and the WSL, you're never going to be on top for 90 minutes, and there are times that you've just got to manage the game well, and they're the times where you have to keep a clean sheet.
Too far that time.
I look at all these corners from Molly and I'd love to be there, trying to get my head on one of those. She's a fantastic delivery taker, as is Kenny and a multitude of players on our team. And I think the only critical thing for me is this season is we get so many set pieces, and I think it's just about being a bit more clinical. You have a few of our players that you can tell they'll run through a brick wall to try and get their head on it, and sometimes we just aren't really that clinical, and I think it's a learning thing again. I mean, we're not perfect and we need to build, and potentially, I'm thinking from a set piece point of view, just need to be that little bit more clinical and want to get our head on the ball.
Poppy Dearlove is coming off. Tori Sinclair is coming on for Swindon. I think Cherry's going to make a substitution imminently as well.
Yeah, it looks like Erin's coming on, so it's either going to be a formation change or a personnel change. Don't know if Ellie Stripple is still managing her minutes coming back from injury, or whether it's going to be a midfielder coming off and Ellie dropping in.
And what a season Erin Bloomfield's had so far this season herself.
Yeah,
that hat-trick a few days ago.
Fox in the box is Erin at the minute. Yeah, she's really enjoying her time at the minute. Like I said, a lot of her goals are just in the box, and sometimes they're just a typical tap-in, and it doesn't matter how it goes in, it's about being in the right areas, and that's what she's done really, really well with, and the link-up that she's had with Jenna this season has been brilliant as well.
Is that just to give her a rest to put her on the bench today, do you think, or is it just, as you say, the competition for places?
I think it was more of a tactical change, because we're very mindful of Swindon's midfield in terms of, like, through the analysis that we've watched, they like to overload and really get on the ball and build, and having two strikers on there, we potentially had to drop one of them back in to do the defending, and that's where Ellie Stripple, being a midfielder, she can go on the attack with Jenna in the two, but just dropping her in to help with that, I think it's more of a tactical change rather than anything to do with Erin's performances.
16 goals for her already. We'll say that for the free kick on Kenny there, so she falls to the floor. It was certainly a free kick. There is Thompson. Bumps away from Cox. In from James.
I think that's the type of cross from Molly Barron-Clark which Erin would have loved to have been on the pitch for.
So change to be made here. Erin Bloomfield, see if she can make an impact and get another goal for the final 20 minutes of this game. So she got 3, Markham on the score sheet and Thompson on Thursday night. And it is going to be Jenna Markham coming off. The 20-year-old.
So keeping the same formation and the same tactics, just a personnel switch in the front. So Ellie Stripple is still going to do that job a little bit deeper, and Erin will be the front line.
Jenna Markham as well, a coup to get her to the club. I mentioned in her earlier, but the fact that she was at Exeter last season, I suppose the thorn in Bournemouth's side, you would say. The fact that she did so well.
Oh, I love Jenna, but she was so annoying when we played against her. She was one of those players that she just, as a centre-back, you never want to be turning. And she made, I mean, you've seen it today, she's made every single centre-back turn today, every single time, and it's the most frustrating thing of just not being able to catch a player. And her link up with Sarah Stacey last year, I lost count how many goals they scored together. But yeah, I spoke to her at the end of the game on the Exeter game last year, and obviously she was super excited to get promoted with them, and I think it's just personal circumstances this year that with university and what she was looking to do, and obviously she's spoken with management and seen the project that we're looking to build, and again, it's a fantastic coup, like you said, to be able to bring someone of her talent who can clearly compete at tier 3 and above to come to Bournemouth and really try and be on that journey with us.
And it is exciting, isn't it, the long-term project for Bournemouth, and at the moment they're going to be going to within 1 point of Swindon with 2 games in hand. Cherries yet to drop a point this season. If things stay as they are, Swindon will have dropped 5 points. Do you think Championship's the ultimate aim? Or do you think they could go even higher? You never know with this restructure, do you, of how many teams might be in the Super League, for example, one day?
Yeah, again, I mean, right now it's you can always have that long-term goal. I mean, realistically, that is the aim. We want to be competing with the Southamptons and the Portsmouth and looking at getting up there to compete. But we've got to win this league. It didn't happen this year, and we've got to make sure that we're doing the right thing on the short-term plans. But yeah, I mean, the club are backing us all the way, financially, resources, like you name it, they're going to be able to provide it. But we've got to do the business on the pitch. That's ultimately what it comes down to.
Well, 3 of them forward there. Good football. Bowers with the ball into the penalty area. At the moment, they are doing the business on the pitch this afternoon. With 3 goals so far, heading for a clean sheet. But Swindon looking to do something about that now. And he won't that time Colston's ball too far. So a quarter of an hour to go. Saying mainly play at the Macro Community Stadium in Ringwood, Bournemouth. But these games at Vitality becoming more and more frequent. This is the first one of the season. I'm sure there'll be many more, or a few more, before the end of the campaign.
From a selfish point of view, I hope there is another one at the site. I've only played here once, and I was very fortunate. That was the record attendance at Portishead, and I was lucky enough to get on the score sheet for it, and it was a fantastic day. They always are, no matter whether you're in the starting 11, on the bench, part of the squad, or like myself doing the commentary. It's such a fantastic occasion. There's a huge build up to it, and like I said, we've got to do the business, but it's one of those that you live to play for these games and these occasions, and luckily we've been very fortunate.
There we are, there's a penalty, no complaints. Clip of the heels there from to the substitute Aaron Bloomfield, and the referee points to the spot, and things could get even better here for the Cherries.
She'll be straight on that. She's gone to get the ball.
Yeah, Bloomfield has got a couple of penalties involving 16 goals so far this season. Won the penalty. She's going to take the penalty. A clip of the heels. No real complaints. No major ones from the Swindon players by the looks of things.
She finishes this, I'm hopeful she'll do a normal celebration. It was the former Dom Solanke one, but let's get this in the back of the net first.
Let's see. Can it be goal number 17 of the season for her? Only been on the pitch a few minutes. No mistake whatsoever. Aaron Bloomfield, the top goal scorer, is in amongst the goals again. Won the penalty, scored the penalty. As convincing a win as you'll see against the leaders. 4-0.
Yeah, great finish from Erin. She backs herself on those. We've had a few penalty takers, and I think she had one a few games into the season, and she backs herself on scoring those. And I think I've lost count how many. I think she scored maybe 5 penalties already this season.
Yeah.
So yeah, she backs herself and the team back her to get that goal, and she'll be really happy with that. She'll be disappointed that she didn't start the game, but to get a goal a couple minutes into coming on, I mean, you can't really ask for much more.
What could this do psychologically for the rest of the season? The fact they've gone to the side at the top of the table and played so convincingly, and not only won, but scored 4 goals in the process at least.
I mean, I think it sets a tone for the league in terms of we're here to compete and we're here to win. I think the league know that anyway, all the teams in the league, but I think it's a big confidence boost for us because, like I said, the last 2 games we've played here, we haven't won. So from a personal pride point of view, we want to be making sure that we can come into this game and win it. Again, from a defensive point of view, clean sheets, they're huge, and to get a clean sheet against top of the table, you can't really ask for much more. But again, we try and stay level-headed. It is one game. If we win this game but then go and lose the next league game, it doesn't really make much viewing, which so we've got to still be level-headed with it. But again, everyone wants these moments, and you can't take it away from anyone today.
So James with 2 goals in the first half. Baron Clark with the 3rd, and then a 4th goal. Penalty from Bloomfield. Oh, is there going to be more goals here? And 9 goals now for the Cherries in 4 days. Can they get 5 again for the second time? Thompson, just needed a touch. Running in there, Stripple, right across the face of goal.
Yeah, great run from Abby. She loves bombing on for fun and played the ball at the right time to Erin. Kenny's movement was brilliant and a good little slip in from Erin. Ellie, I think, was offside when they've given it, but I think Kenny was looking to try and potentially do a cross, but at the end of the day, if you're hitting the target back post and it goes in, you're going to take it.
Poor clearance, straight to Thompson. One back from Stripple again. Williams wants it. Oh, lovely trickery there from Thompson to Williams. And it felt like that third goal as well, Helen, with that good, it felt like it's just changed the last 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, you say you're always fortunate for penalties, but Erin's made the right run and she got clipped by the defender, so it was definitely a penalty. But I think the third and fourth goal was really kind of killed the game off a little bit, but brought that confidence out in the team. You can see they're starting to play a bit freer, and you didn't see in the first half any little tricks and flicks like that, and Kenny's got it in her locker to do that. Abby's bombed on that little bit more as well, so starting to create a lot more opportunities. Just constantly talk about being more clinical, and you can't ask for much more with 4 today. You could challenge the players and say we should be further ahead with the possession and the amount of shots we've had, but at the same time you've got to be realistic and say 4-0 at the minute is a fantastic scoreline.
Kind of thing that happens as well, isn't it? When you're 4-0 down, a clearance goes off the wrong side of the corner flag and out for a corner.
Yeah, it's always the way. Sometimes your luck's not in your corner, but at the same time, Bournemouth have deserved everything they've got out of this game so far.
Another corner, had a fair few of these now. And there's one more, this time on the other side. So a busy period of games coming up then for the Cherries. Thompson, a good game so far, been amongst it with the corner. Stripple. Two goals in each half. So far, the clean sheet still being maintained at the moment. Colston through the legs. Flag does go up on the far side. Just as I say, clean sheet, a dangerous ball into the box. That happens every time. You just think that's going to make me eat my words, but not to be.
It's
9 to play.
Always the commentator's curse. Yeah, it looks like, I think, if I can get my glasses on and see, that looks like Chloe Gilroy, and then Swindon are looking to make 2 subs as well. You're starting to see a little bit of tiredness coming in from Swindon because, to be fair to them, they've been doing a lot of running, they've been chasing the ball down, they haven't had a huge amount of possession, and it's an extremely large pitch that has been great to play on, but it does take it out of your legs.
So, Chloe Gilroy, the forward who herself is Exeter City, at Bridgewater as well. And what a good game Kenny's had today.
Yeah, Kenny's been brilliant. Again, it's probably more managing her minutes because she's come back from what she thought was going to be an ACL injury, but luckily it was just a small knee injury. So yeah, she's gone from thinking she might not play the whole season to to being back 6 to 7 weeks after. So building her minutes, but we know the quality of Kenny. But again, a fantastic person to bring on in Chloe. She's been doing really, really well for us, playing across the whole of the front line and as wing back.
Well, Graham's come off, Viviash has come off, and it looks like he has Butcher and Wart coming on for Swindon Town. So a couple of changes there. Izzy Cook came on with a first enforced change in the first half. And Tori Sinclair.
Caitlin Wharton, number 6 for Swindon, another former Bournemouth player, was in our development team and in our first team as well on the ball now.
There's Caitlin Wharton with the pass. Always a tough position to be in, isn't it, as well, coming on when you're 4-0 down to try and do something with it. Feels like almost an impossible task.
Oh yeah, it is, because it's hard if you're coming on but the formation or the tactics really haven't changed, unless you're coming on and it's a tactical to take a defender off to put a striker on. It's really hard to try and influence the game, and fair play to Swindon, they've kept going, they've won themselves a corner here, and they'll be looking to try and dominate this set piece, but I think Bournemouth's dominance today has really shown through.
Confirmation on the tannoy that 6,054 is the attendance. Another reminder there, brilliant, fantastic turnout. 3 of the stands open, as you said, and hopefully soon we'll see all 4 stands open. Be the next step. Be fantastic to see. Now here's an early chance of the substitute. Gilroy still putting under some pressure there. It would have been great if 2 of the subs could get on the score sheet there, but good defending.
Yeah, great interception from Abby. She's recognised that 2v1 and stepped out on the corner at the right time. Played it into Chloe, and unfortunately, given we were defending a corner, there wasn't many people up with her, so she's had to go on her own.
Who for you sort of stood out? And it's difficult to say, isn't it? But the player that's really stood out for you today?
I think in the first half it was definitely KJ. Those 2 goals, you can't really give it to anyone else. They were 2 fantastic strikes. I think second half, Molly's kind of come into her own a little bit, and Ellie Stripple started to link a bit better. So I think probably be a combination of those 3.
Well, Stripple coming off, and on is going to come Alicia Buckingham. But for Stripple, she'll be really pleased. 12 goals in 23 for Swindon last season, and she'll be pleased with her contribution and with a fantastic assist as well.
Yeah, definitely. She's been injured more recently. Again, a hamstring injury, and her goal was to be able to get back for this game. Obviously, it's a huge game and everyone wants to play a part of it, and she's been able to do the right things and get back in and manage her minutes again, and playing in a slightly different position as well. She's done very, very well today. Got unfortunate not be able to get the goal. There was one that was called offside, but managed to get a really good assist.
Alicia Buckingham, a forward who joined from Southampton last year, been at AFC Stoneham and now at university in America. So she comes into the action with 5 to play. Bournemouth could probably carry on playing all day. Swindon will want this whistle gone. Hopefully they'll hope there's not too much stoppage time, but Bournemouth won't care. They'll want to keep playing and enjoying themselves out there at the moment. Williams is there in support. Izzy Cook.
I think it looks like Bournemouth are making another sub. Looks like Maisie Smith's coming on.
Yeah, at the moment it feels like every time the ball goes out of play, Steve Cuss makes another one. I suppose it's is a great position to be in now, isn't he? He can just
Yeah.
bring substitutes on.
Oh, and the quality that we've got on the bench and players that aren't even in the squad. He's when we're all fit, he's going to have a very tough job to name a 16, let alone a starting 11.
Yeah, very difficult. Confidence will grow and grow as the season goes on, and now it's up towards Bloomfield. Scored that penalty, might score here from open play, and it wasn't that far off in the end. Does take it of it. She did think it was, and she does win the corner kick.
Yeah, good run from her. Molly's picked out a good area of space. When Swindon are playing a back three, unfortunately, if the wing backs aren't as far back, you're going to get those pockets of space out wide, and her and Jenna have made good runs today in those pockets and been able to get a lot of joy there.
It's Molly Barron-Clark to take the corner. You want someone with experience. There's a player who's been involved in an FA Cup final as well back in 2011 at Bristol City. The corner is short, too short.
Yeah, me and Molly both played in that. We were in the same squad for that game for Bristol Academy against Arsenal. Unfortunately, a 2-0 loss, but a fantastic experience for both of us.
That was going to be my next question, but I don't know if I wanted to talk about the defeat. I don't know if it still hurt 13 years later.
Oh, killing me softly. I don't know what's worse, the fact we lost or the fact it was 13 years ago. But no, it was a great day. It was really unfortunate, actually. We played them in the league the week before, so I think we played really, really well.
Could be a chance here for Swindon, though, to score their first goal of the afternoon. Really good defending as well. Brilliant stuff, free kick.
Yeah, great block from Kelsey. It's always hard when you want to attack, but you've got to do the right things, and Kelsey loves bombing on, but really, really good positioning and covering round there.
What's that like? To be involved in a cup final like that at such a young age at the time must have been fantastic.
Yeah, no, it was really. I remember I hit the crossbar from a free kick. That was when I was playing my winger days. But yeah, great experience. It was at the Ricoh Arena, Coventry, and then I was fortunate to play in the FA Cup the following season with Chelsea. Unfortunately, lost that one on penalties.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if it's going to test me anything, it will test resilience. But again, I mean, you want to be, whether you're winning or you're losing in those games, to be involved in them. It's a fantastic opportunity to go as a club and have those memories, but also just to play against the best.
Molly Barron-Clark has come off now. Maisie Smith coming on. 4 minutes of added time indicated. Maisie Smith, who has stepped down as captain just to concentrate on the football. I suppose that's a brave decision to make last year.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, she's a massive part of this club, and she's done a job for the team for many years as a centre-back and a full-back, and I think she just wanted to focus on herself and potentially get more opportunities playing forward. I mean, her versatility shines through. She could play in any of the back three, back four, wing-back, centre mids, could probably do a job up front as well, and I mean, what a player to bring on. She's like Phoebe in terms of the midfield, bags of energy, and will do anything she can for the team.
Swindon do win the free kick, so 4 minutes of added time indicated.
Your player of the match, as chosen by match sponsors Christchurch Goal Centre, is number 14, Katie James.
As we mentioned earlier, Katie James, for her first half performance particularly, wins player of the match officially.
Yeah, no, brilliant performance from her. Like I said, she'll probably self-analyse it and say that she could have done things better, but that's the nature of our squad and the players, and KJ's very, very versatile on our team. I think she started coming into this team as a striker. She's done the holding role, she's played wing-back. Today she's gone centre-mid and out wide, and I think thoroughly deserved the player of the match.
Still looking for that fifth for Cherries.
KJ's still looking for that hat-trick too.
Yeah, will it come, I wonder, with this ESET live stream? Really pleased to bring this to you this afternoon at Vitality Stadium. Second against first. Cherries will stay second, but they've gone and beaten the leaders very convincingly here today. Just a great day all round for Bournemouth.
Yeah, again, it's a fantastic opportunity. I mean, like we've always said, we're really grateful for the club to be able to put on days like this, and Bournemouth in general, the men's and the women's teams. It's a very family feel and a very family-orientated club, and the culture that shines through, and that's a lot of reasons why you end up getting players signing for us. We want to be part of this journey, and again, days like today and being able to put on a performance, clean sheet, 3 points, 4 goals. Hopefully, it could be a bit more in the last couple of minutes, but. Yeah, fantastic day all round.
Just go back to that period, like first half an hour, there were 2 or 3 really good chances, and you just wondered then, is it going to be Bournemouth's day?
Yeah, you always have these worries where you think the game could either be kind of like a 4-5-0 or a 2-2, and it all comes down to being clinical, taking your chances, but also being really, really resilient at the back. And sometimes when you play this formation, we play such an attacking 3-5-2 that you can really end up just having the back 3 defending. But everyone's put a shift in today. Ali in holding midfield has done a lot of covering when Abby and Kelsey have bombed on. And it's been an overall good performance. Every single player that's contributed today has done a really, really good job.
Nearly there, just seconds remain. This 100% record continues for Bournemouth. And it's gone with the theme so far, where Bournemouth are going into the game of average just over 5 goals a game. Another 4 here today. Goes over towards Diaz-Butcher, and that might just be that now. Imagine when the ball goes in the air, that probably will be that. 2 goals in the first half, 2 goals in the second, a clean sheet, the perfect afternoon, a crowd of over 6,000, a dominant performance. Can't really ask for any more than this against the leaders as well. Everything coming together, all in one afternoon, and that will be that. War around vitality, a well-deserved 4-0 win. In truth, it could possibly have been more with the chances Bournemouth have created. But a fantastic afternoon, and Bournemouth have got another 3 points. And you would say, Helen, the biggest win so far this season.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, like I said, you want to be getting clean sheets and wins, but to do it at the Vitality Stadium against top of the table, I mean, you can't really ask for much more. Fantastic prep, fantastic day, and rounded off with a good 4-0 win.
Steve Cuss will enjoy that. The supporters here this afternoon will enjoy that, and hopefully you've enjoyed that today watching on the stream for that 3 points and the 4 goals. And it's going to be a fantastic evening now for Bournemouth, who've got to do it all over again next week in the league. But they'll go into that with even more confidence probably than they did going into today.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's always nerves. You put pressure on yourself performing at the Vitality, but you know when you're playing a team as good as Swindon, it could have been a very different day today and a very different result. So, yeah, massive performance, and really will take the positives going in from this. We'll still learn and review, because you can't go into it thinking we've won this game, we're going to win the next one. You've got to take each game as they come and do the right prep for it. But I mean, you've also got to give yourself a pat on the back and go, do you know what, you've done really, really well today, and you've got to enjoy these moments, because they don't come around often, and when you get that, you've got to make the most of them.
Well, fantastic for Bournemouth today. 4 goals, over 6,000 here, and Steve Cuss is going to get all the players together on the pitch. And Helen can go out and enjoy that as well today for that performance. And is just going to go and join the players for that celebration, and is going to join that huddle. Helen Blazard's been with us, pleased to say, this afternoon on this live stream. So she's going over there to join the huddle. You'll probably see her in a second. Post-match thoughts there from Steve Cuss. And you can probably see Helen there running over, just trying to make sure she gets there in time. The Cherries have beaten Swindon, the leaders, by 4 goals to 0, and I wonder what Steve Cuss has been saying to his players. No doubt an inspirational post-match team talk there from the head coach. Let's have a look then at the goals. This is how it all started for Bournemouth. As I say, did wonder if it was going to be Bournemouth's day already after those chances they created in the first half an hour. Eventually they did break the deadlock. Katie James with the finish. What a finish that is from an angle. 2 goals, not just 2 goals, 2 exceptional goals. The first was brilliant, the second one was even better. What about that from distance? Pick that one out. 2-0 for Bournemouth. And then going into half-time after that goal and a fantastic assist from Molly Barron-Clark. Look how much Kenny Thompson enjoyed that one as well. You just feel like going into half-time, 2-0, comfortable, but still game not quite over. You felt Bournemouth needed that third goal to really kill the game. As soon as the third goal went in, the whole game just became totally dominant for Bournemouth. And this is when it came. They had a great first 5 minutes of the second half. Ball in from Streppel with a square ball against a former club, and there was Molly Barron-Clark racing in, left footer as well. Perfect run, perfect pass, perfect finish. 3-0 Cherries. You knew then that 3 points were coming Bournemouth's way in this second v first really massive match here at Vitality. And they sealed the deal with this penalty. Erin Bloomfield, who'd only been on the pitch for a few minutes, the top goal scorer, won the penalty. 17th goal of the season for her. Hat-trick on Thursday. A goal in the last 20 minutes after coming on the pitch for her. 3rd penalty of the season. 17th goal of the season. 3 different goal scorers. 4 goals for Bournemouth. A clean sheet. Over 6,000 supporters. A fantastic afternoon here. Great to see. Thanks very much for watching this stream. It's been the biggest game of the season for Bournemouth so far, and they've delivered to keep the pressure on the leaders. Just 1 point separates the two now, but Bournemouth with 2 games in hand. It's looking good for the Cherries in this National League Division 1 South West fixture. It finished Bournemouth 4, Swindon 0.